everyone. Welcome to Switchblade Sisters Social Club, the true crime podcast where two friends exploit their worst fears for your entertainment.
You're welcome.
I'm Dee, a writer and podcaster.
And I'm Isla from Criminally Good Books, a true crime and crime fiction bookshop in York.
Follow us on all the socials.
Except for X, obviously.
Or have a look at our website, switchbladesisterssocialclub.com.
Check them out for all our latest episodes, events, deals, and other weird stuff.
Listeners' discretion advised. Hi!
Hello, how are you?
Hello! So we are in the same room.
Yay! I can't believe we're in the same place.
Which is surprisingly more difficult to record than if we were in our totally separate locations. But we missed each other and we wanted to be together and record together. Also, we've just been to Harrogate Festival, which we've talked about on every single episode this season, but for a reason, because it's awesome.
It's amazing.
It's awesome. We met so many amazing people, and hopefully a bunch of them have joined as listeners now, because we left a lot of stickers lying around.
You left a lot of stickers in bathrooms, the gents' cloakroom, everywhere.
Yeah. So, Isla, you got me a really cool sort of wicker basket handbaggy thing in the shape of a watermelon, which we discussed previously is a little symbol of solidarity for Palestinian people and resistance and so forth. It made a terrible handbag, but it made a great merch watermelon. Oh my God, so we were asking people to dip their hands into our merch watermelons. Not a euphemism, an actual thing. But I have some other exciting news. Something that happened to me a couple of days ago that I've been waiting to tell you on air. I met Coventry Karen. Coventry Karen of
Where?
People's Pulse fave in, this won't surprise you,
Harrogate?
In Coventry.
Oh, so I was going to say in Harrogate and then you
No.
introduced me. I'd be like devastated.
So I was going to be in the area and we met up, and she is, unsurprisingly, fabulous. And I'm going to post a picture of us on social media. We went to the Yard in Coventry, which I also want to do a shout out to. Lovely, lovely bar for the queer community that has amazing food and amazing spicy margaritas. So what more do you want? They do drag brunch. Fat Butcher is their drag queen, one of their drag queens. Amazing.
I love it.
So yeah, Coventry Karen, thank you so much for the support. She's been an OG listener and contributor to all of our things, our interactive bits and bobs. It was just lovely. It was so nice. It was so nice meeting her. But yeah, listen, I told you that I have a case today. There's so much to it that we are probably going to be recording a double episode, a two-parter. And I think it might be our first two-parter. But I didn't want to cut down any of it because it's not only a lot and fascinating, but also, like, in my view, really relevant and really important for us to know about.
Oh my goodness.
Because I feel like there's still more to come, basically. It was a case that I wasn't sure how much crime was going to be involved. I knew there'd be loads of shitty behavior that should be illegal, but fear not, there's lots of crime.
Do you think I'll know about it when you start talking 100%. About it? Okay.
It's basically, let me give you clues.
Okay, clues.
It came off the bat of Emma's episode last season on Donald Trump.
Okay. That could be anything, Dave.
But it was really difficult. I had to force myself to stop researching because there's just daily more stuff.
Okay.
More clues. His net worth is $221 billion.
Elon Musk.
Yes. This is the thing. It's like with Trump. We know that there's a lot of shisty behavior in his background and whatever, but I for sure was not really in the know about what exactly had gone on. It's just, it is my opinion that it is incredibly difficult to amass 221 billion without shitting on people and taking advantage of people and institutions and whatever, because that's not comfortable. That's obscenely rich.
And actually, does he have that cash?
I doubt it's in cash, in his little book tote, you just showed me your cash.
My little bag.
All right, so sources, True Crime and Cocktails podcast, BBC articles, a whole bunch of them. I'll post all the links to the ones, New York Times, a podcast called Trump, Musk, and the End of a Bromance, today in focus. That's got Andrew Roth as a host, who's a journalist who is a correspondent in Washington, D.C. That one I've put in brackets, very Guardian-y, so very lefty.
Okay.
Then there was another one, Trump versus Musk, The Breakup, The Rest is Politics USA podcast. Anthony Scaramucci, in brackets, The Mooch. He was a former White House Director of Communications and Wall Street financier. That one's a little bit more righty. And then a Trump-Musk divorce, Politics Unpacked, very The Timesy I've put. So I tried to look at sources that were on the different edges of the political spectrum. No, not the edges. I've ignored all the way in the edges of both sides. It's sort of in the middle, but across a bit of a spectrum. I want to do an extra trigger warning. There's domestic violence in this episode, and there is child death. So if you need to, I'll try to give warnings when those bits are coming up if you want to fast forward. So there's a lot. Mm-hmm. And I debated how to arrange all this information. I wasn't sure whether to do it chronologically or divide it up, personal and professional, or different companies. So in the end, I've gone for no particular order whatsoever. A little bit of both.
Glitter, sprinkles.
And I am joking. It is mainly chronological, but kind of going a little bit back and forth between personal and professional, because it's a shit show in all of the arenas. Like, for example, how many kids he's up to. Mm-hmm. All right. So his mother was from Canada, Saskatchewan. Her name was May. She was a twin, and she was one of 5 children. Her father decided to move to South Africa because he felt that Canada was in moral decline. So did he move there during apartheid? Yes. So what I infer here is that he prefers the political system of apartheid than what was going on in Canada. So we don't have much on him, on Elon Musk's grandfather on his mother's side, but let's just say he chose as a white man to move to apartheid South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah. The mother was a model, and she still is. She was the oldest swimsuit Sports Illustrated model for like half a minute in 2021 before someone even older replaced her. And she's still modeling. So I bet she looks fabulous. She worked as a dietitian and became an ambassador for Oppo, which is I think it's a Chinese phone company. I had an Oppo once upon a blue moon.
Really?
It was
wow,
nice.
I've never heard of Oppo.
Yeah, I think you'll be hearing more of them. She produced a memoir as well, so you can find out more about Elon Musk's mum if you want to. When she was at high school, she met Errol Musk, and they got married in their early 20s and had 3 kids, including Elon. Errol started an engineering business and owned auto parts companies, and was also involved in emerald mining in Zambia, which rings red flags for me. Like I said, it was difficult to find more information, but those are not typically known to be ethical industries.
We're talking about blood diamond country.
Basically. He also became involved in politics for half a second. In 1979, Errol and May, his parents, got divorced, and there were reports of abuse and affairs on Errol's side. Mm-hmm. He was nicknamed the Pig because of how he treated May, even in public.
Okay, if you've got a nickname of the Pig, like, I can't imagine my husband having a nickname because of his behaviour.
No.
So, one instance, if you did something fine, 2, 3, 4, 5, he must have had a lot of instances of treating her badly in the way that he was in public, right?
It reminded me, pay attention to nicknames because they're telling. It reminds me of how Wayne Couzens, the police officer who killed Sarah Everard, his nickname in the police force, was the rapist. It's like, if you've done even a fraction of the amount of things required to get the nickname the rapist, HR should have a little look at that, right?
Oh my God, absolutely.
So yeah, you can imagine how bad that he's known as the Pig. He rarely saw his kids. Every now and then he'd see them for a weekend. And when the kids would arrive, he would throw everything out. And so when she got the kids back, she would have to replace all of their clothes. He would throw out all their toys, all their clothes, and whatever. Spite. So he was loaded and she was working multiple jobs. She had 5 jobs at one point trying to support the 3 kids while he was rolling around in dough.
So they would turn up to see him with their toys and clothes, and then when he sent the kids back, they went back with nothing because he would chuck them.
Yeah, so that she would have to then spend a...
God,
I know, I mean...
he sounds horrific.
Right, so he clearly wasn't supporting her financially in a fair way, because again, he was very financially stable, and then contributing to her misery. So she's working 5 jobs, got the kids the majority of the time, and then contributing to her hardship by making her replace toys and clothes and whatnot constantly. I mean, pig seems too nice a nickname for him, right? And then he would go on to sue her for being an unfit parent.
Right.
So we're not a fan of Errol, I'm guessing.
No.
Errol then married a woman called Sue. Then he married a woman called Heidi, who was a widowed mother of 3. They had 2 more kids. Then they got divorced. They'd lived together for 11 years. Even though Errol says they were only married a short time. So Errol, this woman that he'd been with for 11 years, he's saying, oh, we were only together 5 minutes, like probably trying to relinquish any kind of responsibility for her.
And payment that you'd have to make her.
Yeah, but here's the bit. So I told you he was married to a widowed mother of 3, Heidi. In 2016, he starts dating Heidi's daughter, Jana. She was 4 when her mum and Errol had got married. So he was in her life. I interpret that he was in her life since she was younger than 4, right? I don't know how you would well, I was going to say he would have raised her. He didn't, because he wouldn't have spent time with her or whatever. I suppose that's how that happened. But ew.
I know.
Can we say that? Ew?
Yeah, definitely. So he was with her when she had a child.
He was with Heidi.
Yeah, and she had a child. Like
she had 3 children already.
Yeah.
She was widowed. So this woman, Jana, this lady, you know, she'd lost her father young. Yeah. So poor woman, she's obviously got some trauma from there. I don't know how you... But Errol had 2 more kids with Heidi.
So
so not only is he her stepdad, but they've had biological children.
No, this is wrong.
So now her sisters and her sister brothers, whatever, are also her stepkids.
No, this is so
and
wrong.
then
no,
Errol and Jana also then have a kid.
Oh God, no.
Errol at this point is 69 years old. Jana, 29. Okay, so I think we're getting an idea of Errol.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to leave on. Yeah, and a lot of this sounded like gossipy, not really crimey, but I feel like it's really important to get to understand Elon, because reading about the dad, I can understand Elon a lot more. I won't say that I have sympathy for him where I didn't before, but I definitely understand this a lot more.
You can understand Elon's background a lot more. Definitely.
Right, because in the meantime, all of this is happening after Elon is born, and Elon is being basically ignored with his, you know.
All the other kids are being ignored.
So all of the rest of the kids are disgusted by this relationship with Jana and then them having a kid. Errol at the time said all of his kids were equal, but then he also says, I never viewed Jana as my daughter. Well, which one is she? Is she like your stepdaughter that you don't view as a daughter, or all your kids, are they equal? What's happening here? Because you're marrying her and having a kid with her. So
sounds like he's under attack, and that's why he's saying that it wouldn't count for her.
Yeah. And then to add to it, right, this made me sad. Elon says he noticed his dad becoming uncomfortably attentive to Jana when she was 15. So again, I feel like we need to take everything Elon Musk says with a pinch of salt. But if this is true, it means that he's noticing his dad having very inappropriate interactions with the child and a child that's meant to be in his own care.
I know.
You won't be surprised to hear that Elon and Errol become estranged.
Yes.
And Elon calls his dad evil and a terrible human being. So if Elon thinks that...
It must be bad. I think a lot of kids... I mean, my parents aren't divorced and your parents aren't divorced, but I think that for some kids who see one of their parents as a bit of an enemy, you can see why that they would say that when they were maybe younger. Yeah. But when you get older and you understand why your parents have got divorced, I'm not saying you get
You might still have
sympathy, but-
resentment, but you have an adult understanding of what was.
You've
Not
got an
everything's black and
understanding.
white.
But he's an adult saying this, so his dad.
I mean, it's very hard to
bad.
justify away your dad marrying his stepchild and having a kid with.
Exactly.
Errol supposedly lost all his money in the 90s, and Elon and his brother supposedly gave him money to help support him on the condition that he would behave.
Right.
Like, this man knows what behaving means. Errol, at the same time, publicly says that Elon was a spoiled child. First of all, if that's true, that's your fault. You're his parent.
But the mum was trying her best. He took all the toys and the clothes. I don't understand how he's spoiled if you're treating him so badly along with his siblings.
And also, again, you're his dad. If he's spoiled, that's on you. That's a reflection on you, not on the child. And also, I can forgive someone publicly shitting on their parents, like dissing their parents, more than I can forgive a parent doing the same with their child. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Even if it's a grown child, it's especially cruel because there's no need for it, you know? So then Errol and Jana have a second child, which I'm guessing Errol and Elon and his brother do not consider behaving, which was one of the conditions of the money. Errol now has 7 kids and is in his 70s. And he says he's open to having more kids, but only if the mother is under 35.
And what is his rationale for that? For like healthy babies? Or is he just attracted to those women? Because I'm sure all guys in the 70s are probably attracted to girls in the 30s.
It is really unfair that guys can have the luxury of waiting a lot longer to decide if they're ready. But the problem is, I don't think it's a problem for them, but the issue is then they need to be finding younger and younger females, right?
Exactly.
So I'm sure it's an attraction thing because he's with Jana, who's 29.
He's only open to having kids as long as they're under 30. The mothers are under 35.
Which to me tells me I like younger women and I'll just pretend it's because I want to have kids and only younger women can have kids. I don't know.
This guy is something else.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Can't wait to see a picture of him.
1998, Errol claims that a group of armed men broke into his home and that a shootout happened where Errol dodged every bullet and that he ran into his room, got his gun, and shot 3 of the robbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of them supposedly ran out.
So these robbers are lying there bleeding in his house?
Well, dying. 3 of them died, and the rest ran out.
Okay.
Because there was a whole group of them. And apparently one bullet even went through the head of one and into the chest of another. There's not a single record of this anywhere. This is a story. No, he's made up the entirety of it. Which is that takes some balls, doesn't it?
Someone broke into his house. He's telling people someone broke into his house.
A group of people.
Yeah. He defended himself, dodged all the bullets, shot 3 of them. The rest escaped. And then there's no bodies of these 3.
There's no bodies. There's no police records.
So what was he telling this story for?
He even claimed, though, that he was charged with manslaughter, but then acquitted. So in theory, there should be public records of this. But he's just bullshitter. So let's go back to May's kids. So Errol's, Elon's mum, okay? We've got a very, very clear idea of his dad.
Yeah, he's batshit crazy.
And a prick.
Yeah.
So we've got Tasca, born in 1974. She was a filmmaker who set up Passion Flicks, which is a female-focused streaming service based on romance novels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's the youngest. Kimball, 1972, is a restaurateur. Mm-hmm. He launched The Kitchen and Next Door Restaurants. The aim is sustainability, local produce. Employees are supposedly part of the family, etc. So he had the system where his employees, part of their paycheck went into the family fund.
Right.
For times of need. Okay. So it sounds adorable, sounds lovely.
Okay, so not going to be. Mm-hmm. Okay.
During COVID, the restaurants needed to shut for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Managers were given pay cuts, but the hourly paid employees, like the rest of the non-senior staff, were given nothing during this time. But you think, great, we have a family fund for times just like this. Nope, no one was given anything from the fund. So when people started questioning, where's my family fund money? I thought we were part of family. they decided to revise the family fund. Employees got an email saying they would all get $400 from the fund, but if they'd previously applied, they had to reapply using a new link. But then they were never sent that link. 2 days later, 100 employees got fired, and then they got no redundancy or severance pay, no family fund grant, because it was stated that that family fund was for current employees only.
And did they sign up to it because they clicked? I mean, I don't understand how any of this is legal.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Well.
They'll have done their research to make sure that they've got it going towards the business. They will absolutely be doing it so that employees lose out and the family, their family, not the family of employees, benefit.
Yeah, exactly. It made the news. There was a lot of pressure. It looked really bad, obviously, on Kimball Musk. So he, in the end, had to give them $400 each. I just want to state that his net worth at the time was $700 million.
So Kimball, the one that was born in 1972, he'd amassed that much money.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, it's not like he was struggling. I could totally understand if it was a business that was also on the whole struggling during COVID times, but this is a business run by
such an interesting
multi-millionaire.
Family.
Yeah.
I have questions, but I'm going to ask them later because it's just, I'm going to have loads of questions.
Right? I mean, they're gross, aren't they? Mm-hmm. He also fired people when they looked like they were going to unionize. Mm-hmm. But the courts made him rehire them and then also recognize their union. So that's something.
Can you imagine how awkward that is? That you've been fired and then you're then re-employed knowing that your employer hates your guts but has had to take you back. How awkward must that be to go back into work?
Yeah, but also, what does that tell you about their need for that job? Do you know what I mean?
True,
because
true.
You would want to go and work somewhere else, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
if possible. 2022, he formed Nova Sky Stories. So it's basically, I don't know why this makes me think prick, light shows with drones. And he sits on the board of Tesla and SpaceX, which are obviously two companies. I'll get onto them. They are Elon Musk's companies. Elon Musk was the oldest. He was born in 28th of June, 1971 in Pretoria because he is South African. He was always described as an awkward child, which is like, that makes me like him, but he liked to read. He claims, though, that he read the entire Encyclopedia Britannica by age 9, to which I say, we all did. It was the only fucking book we all had. Do you remember?
It's so funny. Like, why did everyone have that book?
I don't know.
Because I had it, we had it in our house, but my dad worked in publishing, so we had loads of books. So I don't know.
But it was just the done thing in the 80s. You know what I mean? We all had it. And also we didn't have the internet. We had 3 channels on TV. So we regularly picked it up and just flicked through random letters, So, not to show off, but it's all right.
There's nothing else to do. Yeah. Let's get the encyclopedia out.
So, and to get more books, you had to go to the library, which you had to wait for your parents to be free and blah, blah, blah. Also, his mom worked 5 jobs. So she wasn't around much. So I can totally see him retreating to books.
Yeah.
He also didn't have very many friends. So he was bullied. He claims he was nearly beaten to death. And Errol, his dad, saw it as Elon's weakness. So his dad was definitely the type to be man up, blah, 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 which is just cruel. I do think
it is bad.
I don't know whether it would have made a difference, but his mom sounds awesome. His dad sounds like a piece of fucking shit.
You say you don't think it'd make a difference or you don't know. I think that if his dad was a bit more normal, it would have given him some grounding and some love and,
If his dad had a stronger moral compass, let's say. Yeah.
I mean...
Ugh. So Elon taught himself to program. I mean, there is no doubt. There will be no questioning of his intelligence on this podcast. He is clearly just a super genius, He taught himself how to program and made a computer game called Blaster, which he sold for $500 when he was 12, which must have been $1 bazillion now.
Loads,
And
Right.
obviously he's like ambitious as well, and this will serve him well, not the people around him, but it will serve him well. When he finished school, he went to the University of Pretoria, and then he went to university in Canada when he was only 17. It seems he was avoiding mandatory military service, so they had conscription
I didn't realize
in South Africa.
Okay.
So presumably if you go to university, you can delay it. In 1992, he moved to Pennsylvania to study at university there. He did economics, then physics postgrad. Clearly applied what he studied in his life, which is very rare, I think. He started dating Jennifer Gwynn. They even met each other's parents, but then when she went abroad, they broke up in around 1994. And then in 1995, Elon moved to California to get his PhD in energy physics in Stanford, but dropped out after 2 days to launch his first business, which sounds really cocky, but then to be fair, he did well for himself. He launched this new business with Kimball and a guy called Greg Coury, and the business was called Zip2, which was like an online business directory.
Okay.
Which is...
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Apparently, Kimball and Elon used to physically fight regularly in front of their employees. Like, I'm guessing, judging by the dad's attitude, like wanting Elon to man up and not be bullied and, I'm guessing it was very much a household where they were encouraged to physically fight it out, basically. And this carried on, it seems, into their adult life and into their professional lives. So basically, they were like, at one point, regularly wrestling on the floor. There was one fight where Kimball bit Elon's hand and took out a bit of flesh.
Oh, my God.
Ugh. So eventually, Elon was evicted as CEO in 1996 because the board wanted someone with more experience. So he's obviously super, super smart with the physics and the economics or whatever. But
he set it up. And so is the board just him, Kimball, and this Greg Coury?
I don't know whether they voted. They had to get other people on board. So in 1999, though, it was sold for over $300 million.
It was called what? Zip2?
Zip2. I presume it was like the precursor to one of the other bigger ones that maybe we've probably heard of. Kimball made $15 million out of that deal, and Elon made $22 million.
That's not a lot if it was sold for so much, but they've obviously got investors in the business.
Investors and debts, maybe, and
exactly.
whatever. But I mean, that's them early on in their career making multiple millions, right?
Unreal.
Elon used that to start an online bank called X.com. He has a thing for the letter X.
Right, okay.
Which we now know. So he was one of the 4 founders. It then merged with another company and became PayPal.
Oh.
Do you remember when Elon Musk was part of PayPal when it was first coming out?
I did not know he was part of PayPal at the beginning.
This is the time when I think I first learned about Elon Musk. And at the time, you could tell he was kooky.
Right.
You weren't sure what was happening with him, But then in 2002, PayPal was acquired by eBay for $1.5 billion. Okay. So you don't need to get rid of your PayPal account. Elon Musk is no longer involved with it. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to cancel my PayPal account now. Elon then founded SpaceX in the same year, in 2002, presumably used some of the money or at least the time that he had now that he wasn't involved in PayPal. He wanted to make commercial space travel possible and eventually colonize Mars.
Okay.
And it's that attitude and that wording that is super problematic. Like, again, who are you to go and live on Mars? Like,
but it's that kind of like colonial attitude.
Yes.
Like the South African,
it's the rich white male attitude. Yes.
I do want to know who owns space. Like, I want to know that. I'm sure that's a whole other thing, but who owns the rights to the moon? Is it literally if you get there and you put stuff there that it's your countries? Like, what has...
I don't think at the moment...
the world, our countries, and,
I could be wrong, but I don't think that it's a case of being able to claim any part of space. I'm sure the air space above Earth is divided up, it is according to the countries underneath that air, if that makes sense. But in terms of space, I don't think if you get there, it's yours.
Yeah.
Unless you're Elon Musk and he thinks if he gets to Mars, he can keep it. But the thing is, SpaceX works a lot with the government. So NASA even gave SpaceX a contract to transport a bunch of stuff to the International Space Station. So
and then Bezos, whatever he's called, is with the other one. And I just
this is when you know you have too much money.
But it scares me that governments are having to give contracts to these people.
I know.
Where could you imagine if something went wrong and you've got these satellites falling to Earth? You've got loads of stuff that could potentially go wrong. Like the space above the Earth is covered and like absolutely littered with
space junk. I know, and I don't
like
know.
Elon Musk in charge of a company like that with no.
Well, I don't know how much supervision is involved when you get a government contract. I hope that they are monitoring it, that they at least allocate like one scientist to make sure that these private individuals are doing things properly. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. I have that same fear as well with the self-drive cars, which is obviously also in the Elon Musk story. It's like, this is really scary territory, right?
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
So 2012, the Falcon rocket launched to the International Space Station, and it was an unmanned vessel that went all the way there, presumably fine. But I just also think, before we start putting all this money into going to like fucking Mars, can we work on fixing
problems here?
This planet? Like, we're talking billions and billions here going into space exploration. If even a fraction of it was diverted to healthcare, education, world hunger issues, etc., here, we would, maybe people will be happy to stay here for a little bit longer. So it really bothers me that, because
Absolutely.
I think I get the fascination with space. I get it. But at the same time, priorities, In 2011, he says, best case, they will get a person on Mars in a decade. Worst case by 2029. So,
okay, best case.
I don't think we've had anyone on Mars. So basically, between 2021 and 2029, he will get someone on Mars. Because there hasn't. I can answer that. There's not been a person
not coming back. If anyone got to Mars, there's no way that they can come back to Earth.
Because they've had obviously unmanned vessels. One of my distant cousins has worked on the robot arm that has gone to Mars. I know, super cool. Palestinian working at NASA.
Yay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we'll see. We'll see if his prediction is accurate. I mean, he says a lot of bullshit. But I also have absolutely no idea where we stand on Mars space travel, Anyways, I'm going to jump back a bit now into his personal life. Before Jennifer, he was dating a lady called Justine Wilson. It's possible they overlapped.
Okay.
Justine and he met in 1991 when he asked her out for ice cream. I want your opinion on this, whether this story is cute or creepy.
Mm-hmm.
She said yes. He asked her out for ice cream. She said yes. But then left him a note saying she changed her mind. Hours later, he found her in the student center he brought her ice cream. So basically, she said she didn't want to go with him for ice cream. So he brought her ice cream and found her where she was.
I mean, I suppose it depends if she didn't want to go because she found him creepy, or she didn't want to go because she was busy, or she was like working on an essay and he's like, oh, I'll just take her ice cream. So it could be cute. But also, I think when people are pushy and,
they don't take no for an answer. I know. It's hard to, without seeing more of the context.
The context, exactly.
But like maybe she was too busy studying and so he brought her the ice cream instead. I don't know. But if it's a case of him imposing himself even after she said no, then that is not cute.
No.
And Justine herself says he's not a man who takes no for an answer. And that is not romantic. That's rapey,
Absolutely.
Elon and Justine dated long distance when he was in Pennsylvania, and they broke up when Justine went to Japan for a year. Days after she moved back, he called her. She moved to California, and they got married 5 months later in the year 2000.
Okay.
During their first dance at their wedding, he whispers to her. What do you think he whispers to her? Imagine wedding, first dance.
You're the love of my life. I love you.
I'm the alpha in this relationship. Which reminds me of when I got married. I'm divorced. But when I got married, I walked down the aisle, got to the front of the aisle.
I remember I was there.
You were there. And my now ex-husband turned to me and said, have you bleached your teeth?
Had you bleached your teeth?
Yeah. But he knew that. I'd been sleeping with a fucking mouth guard for 2 weeks with teeth bleaching. I was like...
So you remember that. It's quite funny, actually. It's quite amusing.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Adam. You made us laugh.
I took from that my teeth looked fabulous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So he said I'm the alpha. Do you think that that's because he's not been the alpha? He's not been the one in control in terms of like relation, like with his father
parents,
and his parents, and it's now like I've got a marriage. I am the one in control. Do you think he's trying to replicate his father's relationship with his mother?
He definitely has this strong desire to be in control, work-wise, relationship-wise, family-wise, and whatever. And yes, I'm sure it is from a childhood of being so out of control with his parents going through what seems like a very bitter divorce. His dad then having more and more partners and children and whatever. So he becomes even less and less significant in his own father's life. And then getting bullied and whatever. So yeah, his life, you can tell, is all based around being able to control everyone and everything around him as much as possible. And yeah, I'm sure
I'm the alpha.
But like, there's a time and the place. Justine says in the months after, he just started pointing out where she was lacking all the time.
In what sense? Facially, like beauty-wise, stuff in the house.
He would say to her, she would say to him, she's his wife, not his employee. And he would say, if you were my employee, I would have fired you.
Wow.
And this is in the months after the wedding.
I wonder if she got any inkling about this before she married him, because the wedding was quite...
So they previously dated, then she moved away for a bit, and then they got married very quickly after she moved back.
Yeah, 5 months after she
I imagine she must have known, but she probably either was in denial about how controlling he was, or he stepped it up after he had like trapped her into marriage. This is trigger warning about the child death. In 2002, so about 2 years after they got married, they had their first kid, Nevada, who died at 10 weeks from sudden infant death syndrome. That's going to fuck him up too as well. Like, you know, but it made me really sad because I thought, imagine if he made that his life's work. Imagine if he dedicated his money towards infant cot death or something to do with child illness or something. Like, imagine he could have genuinely been making the world a better, safer, happier place, you know? Because he's also, and this is a very Trump thing as well, you can see determined to leave a legacy. Yes. But that a legacy that he wants people to be talking his name in 500 years. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of legacy. So he's having all of the kids, because, you know, like Trump, 1 million kids by 1 million different people, and wants to not necessarily contribute in the way that would have the most impact and do the most good, but the one that will be talked about the most. That's what it feels like, right?
It's not like he wants to do anything altruistic or anything for society. He wants to continue his...
Yeah. And he clearly has he did physics at uni, so he clearly loves that. You know, it's clearly an interest. But yeah, like I said, imagine if billions was put into this field. It's so sad. Elon, sorry, it makes me so angry. I feel like I could cry about this because, like, Justine having lost a kid, Elon said that Justine's grieving was emotionally manipulative, in quotation marks.
After how long? Like, I mean, obviously, she can grieve for however many years and for the rest of her life. But when
I don't know at what time period, but the thought of a woman losing her child, and he lost his kid too, obviously. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure it hit him hard. But to claim that your wife and the mother of that kid that you both lost was being emotionally manipulative, I mean, wow. And to say it publicly.
Oh, right.
Well, because I know about it, so it must have been public.
I thought she was maybe just saying in a memoir or something.
I mean,
this is what he said to me.
But But even
then, if that's if he said that to her privately, that's still horrific. If he said it publicly, that's just even worse. But to say it at all is awful.
In 2003, two people whose names I've already forgotten and will never be able to spell formed Tesla Motors. It was meant to be fast and fun electric cars. The next year, Elon invested and became a board member. So he didn't start Tesla, but he joined early days and was the one that was plowing in the money, right? And this is, I think, what confused me about Elon for a while. Because we all thought for a bit that he was not our kind of guy, but like harmless, and at least he's putting money into electric vehicles and in Forerunner and that.
I did. I thought, what a great environmentalist, what a great person in the beginning. Way in the beginning.
And it's because
I thought he'd set it up originally. I've since known before you mentioned it that he didn't.
But he, great, because this is obviously electric cars, great, right? But I'm going to put a pin in this. So now he's involved with Tesla, but I'll come back to it. But I want to go back to Justine and Elon trying for another baby. So even though she's emotionally manipulative because she's upset, So they went down the IVF route. And in 2004, they had twins, Vivian and Griffin. Sorry.
I love those names. I'm sorry.
But I know. They are good names. In 2022, Vivian came out as trans and petitioned to change gender and name to include their mother's maiden name because she didn't want to have anything to do with her biological dad. Elon blamed this on the woke virus. He called her a communist who hates rich people. It's like, how does that affect their gender? I don't know. He has occasionally, now this is the thing, he has occasionally tweeted support for the trans community, but then taken it back in the worst way. He's like Trump. It feels like he just says whatever thought pops into his head without assessing whether it's contradictory to his other beliefs or whatever seems to be provocative and will keep him in the media, the public space or whatever. So, how people support Trump by saying, oh, well, at least he's honest. No, he's not. He's like a child saying whatever fucking bullshit comes into his mind without doing what an adult needs to do and process it and filter it. That's not being honest. That's just being ridiculous. And so Elon as well can't tell whether he believes everything he says or whether sometimes it's for effect. He at one point said that pronouns suck. Then he supported the trans movement, but said that pronouns are an aesthetic nightmare.
Well, listen, they might be an aesthetic nightmare for him. Whatever.
This, I think, was when he was already involved with Twitter. So I guess he was talking from the point of view of running a social media platform. But it's like, is it hard to work around some coding? Try being born in the wrong fucking body. Do you know what I mean? Like
wrong gender. So Vivian is.
Oh, I hope I don't get this wrong. Born male, now female.
I believe so, because I've seen Vivian and I've read about their things about Elon. I thought they were very brave and like kind of everything they talked about. And it really made me think, this is great that, that this person's come out and actually talked about how awful their father was. But it's actually like a first-hand account rather than us all going, we don't like him, we see him on TV, he's weird, he's this, he's that. This is actually a member of his own family, his own flesh and blood saying, I don't want anything to do with this guy for various reasons.
And the thing is, like, if you're a public figure, there should still be things that are private in your life.
Yeah.
And these kind of disagreements involving your children's identities and the conflicts, the struggles they're going to, we don't need to fucking know about it, And so the fact that he's so publicly is shaming her community, even if you don't agree with it, if you're struggling with it, you're taking it one step further and like saying, I'm against this whole community.
It's just my daughter's part.
It's so cruel, isn't it? So basically, he banned the word cis from his company. Cis meaning basically that everyone was either biologically male or biologically female and nothing else.
It's your birth gender.
He publicly likes transphobic posts. So, you can see who's liked all of these posts. He even liked a post of Elliot Page, who's trans, who was Ellen Page previously. I don't like to dead name, but Elliot Page, who was in Juno and
right.
a bunch of other things. Amazing, brave person who's done so much for publicly raising awareness about the trans support for trans and so forth. He liked a post of Elliot Page wearing a shirt saying "sterilize autistic kids," which is rich considering he's clearly autistic. But that's the only compliment I will give of Elon Musk.
Oh my God.
Anyways, he acquired Twitter, and then he removed a ban on misgendering or dead naming trans people. So dead naming meaning using their previous name. Some trans folk don't mind this, and some do. They don't want to be reminded of their previous existence at all. And it's by person, but it's the kind of thing that you need to check with them first.
I don't understand. So I don't understand the banning thing. How can you ban someone from saying someone's previous name?
Yeah, so it was previously, if you misgendered or you dead named someone, those posts would be removed from Twitter.
Right, I see. Okay, but he's now
saying there's no issue with that. It doesn't go against our community standards, as Facebook would say. Then so I went on a rabbit hole here. He publicly suggested that anyone providing gender-affirming care for minors should go to prison for life. So gender-affirming care, I think, is a term that is more American and is possibly, I can't even think what we call it over here, but gender-affirming care is support. It's a broad range of support and interventions designed to support individuals whose gender identity differs from the sex they were assigned to at birth.
Yeah.
So it's for people who are exploring the possibility of whether they are trans, basically, or intersex, or a whole bunch of things.
And it's not just like surgery. It can be
it's counseling, support, mentors, groups, support groups, or whatever. And then obviously if they do, so not all of them will go on to gender reassigning surgery, but if they do, there's support for that as well. So he's saying anyone that offers that kind of counseling to even discuss this issue with children should go to prison for life. This isn't about whether or not I don't know enough about what age children should be given hormones and this and the other. I don't know that.
I don't know.
But counseling and stuff like that, I mean, I think everyone should get counseling anyways. You know what I mean? Because life is fucking hard and shit.
2 sessions a week, please.
Yeah. But if anyone's questioning their identity, their gender, their sexuality or whatever, and it's become so much of an issue, and even as a child, then get them support, Anyways, so it's a broad range of things, but Elon Musk thinks they should all just go to prison for life.
Life.
Like I said, it encompasses social.
So if you're a rapist, a murderer, or whatever, you probably get a greater, in the court of Elon Musk, you get a greater sentence
than offering counseling to a child. Yeah. It's aimed at helping individuals align their physical characteristics, emotional expression, social environment, and so forth with their gender identity. It's not always medical. It's definitely not always surgical.
Yeah.
It's quite often support and counseling, psychological, behavioral, et cetera, et cetera. Psychological support, therapy, counseling. Sometimes it involves hormone therapy and puberty blockers. And the most, let's say, extreme version of it is obviously surgical procedures and so forth. Gender-affirming care can significantly improve the mental health and well-being of individuals experiencing gender dysphoria, which is a sense of distress when one's gender identity conflicts with their assigned sex. Some states have banned it for minors, and I totally get that there's concern over some of those treatments being irreversible, and again, like what age. That's not something I have researched or know enough about. Would love to know more. If anyone works on this kind of issue, then please do get in touch. It is banned in some states, even for counseling.
So I can understand why some states might be reticent to allow the surgery.
Or the hormone therapy or whatever.
Because the reversal and
for me, that's a different category of things, right?
But for the counseling, the emotional support, it's just bizarre.
Support groups for other people that are feeling similar. Like,
I wonder what the suicide levels are for these.
I know, and I wonder if it coincides with the states that want to ban drag queens and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Elon Musk, going back to his daughter, He even did an interview where he dead named her, which is something that she didn't want.
Right.
He said,
okay.
He said, "My son is dead. He was killed by the woke virus." And I took the name out of that quote because I didn't want to. But it's like worse than, well, as bad as, I don't know whether, but like not only did he dead name her, my son is dead.
So Vivian, obviously his daughter, I think that this sounds really awful saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway. She's obviously better off without him. I wonder if that is horrific, as what he's just said is. I wonder if Vivian, that's like, if that gave her any kind of closure, if that was like, right,
well,
my dad said this about me, that chapter is shut. There's like, I know exactly who he is.
I mean, that would be a very significant moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't it, in their relationship?
Yeah.
And again, this is what I mean. Like, even if you feel like that, which is obviously very not how we would ever feel about anyone, but even if you feel like that, why are you fucking tweeting it? Why are you tweeting it, right?
Because he tweets everything.
Hugh says, another quote, "I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that, and we're making some progress."
Oh my God, is he talking about like sterilization or something?
I mean, he has talked about sterilization, which is very Hitlery.
It scares me.
Yeah.
It absolutely scares me.
Oh, well, yeah, we're going to get on to more.
No, okay.
So 2006, January 2006, he had more IVF and he had triplets. Justine says that Elon lacked empathy and intimacy, so they started couples counseling. But after just 1 month, which I can tell you is not enough time,
it's probably
they
only
gave
one
up.
session. It's probably only like one session. I mean, how many sessions are you going to have in a month?
I don't know. After 1 month, he gave her an ultimatum for things to go back how they were before or get divorced. And it's like, what? Back how they were before you had 5 kids? Because you can't do that. You can't go back in time. I don't have kids, but it's because I know they change everything, huh? I mean, you have one. They're hard work.
They're bloody hard work.
They have 5.
And also, they've had 5. They wanted 5.
Yeah, they did IVF. They had IVF. They
wanted 5.
But they had twins and then triplets. So they had like, you know, a
triple one, double one.
Exactly.
More than that. Oh my God.
So like the fucking arrogance to say to a woman, things have to go back how they were before you had 5 children for me.
And when did they start the counselling? Was it immediately after the kids were born? Not that it matters, but I'm just curious.
I don't know, but basically immediately after he offered this ultimatum, he filed for divorce the next day.
Fine, as long as she gets something from this divorce, please tell me she does.
Well, we'll get to that because as you know, he's gone on to have multiple other children with other people. So going back to his business life, in 2008, he became the CEO of Tesla. And it seemed like there was controversy around this time as to whether Elon asked one of the other founders, possibly called Martin, to step down from management and from the board. Elon says he didn't. So there's basically a little bit of a power struggle at the top of Tesla. Martin sued Elon and says that he was pushed out. So one of the original founders. I mean, I'm guessing Elon ran the show even though he didn't found the company because of the money he brought to the table. Exactly. Apparently, there was an undisclosed settlement and an NDA signed. So Martin, one of the original founders, disappears into oblivion. Maybe he doesn't. But I didn't follow him after that. Yeah, who knows? Bought a Caribbean island, living fine. Yeah. Elon is often confused, as we have both done, as for being the founder of Tesla. I'm sure that is something he is very happy to encourage, right? But I would say he is associated enough that I will never, ever want to own a Tesla. No. My partner has a company car and he had the choice between the one that he got and the Tesla. And I was like, I will struggle to even sit in your car. And it was the reason he chose not to have the Tesla either, because like, we just hate Musk so much.
But also, do you know, one of my neighbors got a Tesla company car last year. It all looked great, but then I didn't realize that you basically get the Tesla, right? And if you want to upgrade some of the things in it, it's just a software program. There's no difference between the cars. So let's say you wanted, I don't know, I'm trying to think like some like fancy stereo system. Everything's already built in, but you only have access to it if you pay. So it's just a software
Well, that's
upgrade to
interesting, because that means they make one version of it. It's just whether they switch on the module.
Well, that's it, and you just pay more. And the other thing that scares me about that is I watched this movie ages ago, and it's about how and it was the self-drive cars. And it was like a fiction movie, but it got me thinking: self-drive cars that can be taken over by the software company quite easily.
We will get to all of this.
Oh God, is that something in this as well? Because that is petrifying.
The problem with self-drive cars and with everything being so software driven, led.
Okay.
Right. So 2008, the first electric car, the Roadster, was launched by Tesla. And Tesla was like pioneer in the electric car business, right? Like now we've got obviously every make and model has an electric version or a hybrid version. This was like new to the market. But Elon Musk's main goal has always been a self-driven vehicle. He said if he didn't succeed in this with Tesla, then Tesla is worth nothing.
Ooh,
so turns out he
valued your fucking company.
So he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about electric cars. He wants self-drive. So he starts dating Tallulah Riley. She was in the 2005 film Pride and Prejudice. I'm shit with people, so I don't know who this is. They got married in 2010 and then divorced in 2012. 2012 is also the same year he gives Jeffrey Epstein a private tour of the SpaceX facilities. He says it's never happened. Do you know there's a lot of like, we'll get onto this, but like obviously Jeffrey Epstein wheedled his way into high society. So there's a lot of people that have met with him or been in events with him. That does not mean they're
for
also
legitimate reasons.
Yeah, so, you know, or they've just been invited to the same social events or whatever. So like, let's take this all with a pinch of salt, which I hate to say because we know what's coming. But Elon Musk says it never happened. It's like, well, which one is it? When it all came out, all the Epstein stuff, Elon tried to distance himself, saying he only met him once at a dinner. But then he claimed he agreed to meet Epstein because Tallulah wanted to meet him for a novel she was writing. And I was like, was he in publishing? I don't even fucking know. But
I'm trying to remember Epstein's background.
I thought he was in financy stuff. I don't know.
It was finance.
Apparently, Epstein set Kimball up with one of his exes. So anyways, it's all gross. Elon was pictured at different parties with him and with Ghislaine Maxwell, but we all know that in itself doesn't mean anything because they were at lots of parties. He says they barely spoke. A staffer said, though, that they basically talked a lot. And that Ghislaine asked Elon if she could delete something from the internet. And then she said she wanted the whole of the internet destroyed.
I mean, people make those just big statements that might just mean something else.
It could have been like...
If you want something deleted, is it a picture of you? Is it you top off? Is it... Ghislaine, or how you pronounce her name, she did date Elon. Not Elon, sorry. No, she didn't date Elon. She dated Epstein.
Yeah.
But then she no longer dated him and did things for him, as I'm sure you're about to go into.
Then Elon asked a director friend of his to set him up with Amber Heard. Because remember, he played a role in that whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp drama.
Right, okay.
Basically, they arranged dinner, but she didn't show up because she was with Johnny Depp. And then Johnny Depp and her got married and then very publicly divorced. And he played a role in their trial. In the meantime, Elon reunited with Tallulah and they remarried in 2013 and then re-divorced in 2016.
I didn't realize they got married again. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Elon Musk was allegedly in trouble for acting inappropriately with SpaceX staff, including a thing with an intern, which is very cliche. And in 2013, he basically allegedly asked a female employee to have his babies because he was worried about underpopulation and thought that people with good genes and high IQs should reproduce.
Oh no.
Which reminded
me so sad.
I know, this is where it gets Hitlery. It reminded me of this really interesting film that was funny called Idiocracy. And it was about how smart people that want to go to university and further their career or whatever are the ones that are more likely to wait to have children.
Yeah.
So what happens is they have less children or they have no children, whereas the people that don't concern themselves with their career, or I mean, it's a very snobby attitude, but that don't concern themselves with their career or go to university or whatever, just start popping out kids early on. So not only do they have kids earlier, but they have more kids. And then, so basically what happens is that society is just getting stupider and stupider and stupider and stupider, which I thought was...
That's quite interesting.
It is interesting. But when you start talking about like sterilizing people, you're talking about eugenics and Hitler. So the woman said, no, I don't want to have your children. And he kept asking. I mean, it's a big fucking ask. He denies the allegations, but watch this space. Because he does it again. Surprise, surprise. It is his MO. She stayed at the company, but eventually got given $1 million to leave. You don't give people $1 million to leave unless there's a thing.
Yeah, there must have been a thing.
So in 2016, Elon allegedly asked an air hostess on holiday when he was on his own private jet. He asked for a full body massage in his private room in his plane, which she did. He was completely naked. During this massage, he rubbed her legs, showed her his genitals, and said he would buy her a horse if she did more. She said no. I guess she wasn't that desperate for a horse. And then she noticed that her work hours started decreasing. So he was sexually assaulting this air stewardess, and he ended up paying a $250,000 settlement and denying the allegations. But he said if they were true, it would be called Elon Gate, which is just not funny.
No, not funny at all.
So in 2016, Tesla revealed a video of a fully self-driving vehicle, but then it came out that this footage was all faked. I remember that footage coming out because we were like, holy shit, this is...
really?
Yeah, this is like, next level sci-fi. I mean, it was kind of terrifying, kind of exciting, you know what I mean? Just don't understand why people are still buying Teslas after everything. But anyway, employees said that Elon exaggerates all the time. It's like unsurprising. And also always pretends a project is closer to completion than it ever is. These are some scary facts, right? 2019 to 2023. So this is like 4 or 5 year period. 736 accidents happened involving the autopilot feature.
I mean, I don't know if that's a lot or not.
I mean, it sounds like a lot. You're right to point that out. It led, though, to the death of 44 people.
Wow.
But Elon apparently has said, well, this is less than if people were driving it. Because obviously there's a lot of road traffic accidents in people-driven cars. But according to Forbes, Tesla has the highest accident rate of 40 brands of cars.
Oh.
So that tells me that number is higher than you would want it. In 2022, 300,000 Teslas were recalled because of a software glitch.
I remember that. That.
And investors have sued him in the past for exaggerating the progress and the safety and other such things.
Okay.
In 2014, there was an engineer called Christine Ballin who raised an autopilot issue. It was the brakes. She had raised an issue with the brakes. And this is a recurring theme in his companies. She was fired, and then publicly she said that it was said that she was using Tesla resources for personal projects. So she was sort of smeared a bit. She won a wrongful dismissal case, but the design flaw was never addressed, apparently. I'm going to do a Cybertruck side note here, okay?
This sounds fun.
First of all, have you seen how ugly the Cybertruck is? No. I love an ugly car. Like, I have a thing for like chunky, weird looking cars. If it looks like a squash bug.
The big purple one.
A big purple one.
With the big, is it not a tiger thing on it? No.
You are totally thinking of someone else. I've never.
No.
I had, when we were in Harrogate, someone drove past in a Dodge Avenger and it made me miss my Dodge Avenger. That's what it
was.
The old sort of US police cars.
Oh, maybe not.
Anyway, so the initial concept and the unveiling was sort of 2012-ish. Elon Musk first floated the idea of an electric super truck because, up to this point, electric cars were small, you know. So 2012, 2013, he starts saying, I'm going to build a super truck and it's going to be electric. And so he starts teasing it. And then in 2017-ish, he's talking about it some more. 2019 in November, he unveils the super truck, the Cybertruck prototype.
Ooh.
The live demo turned the infamous Tesla's armor glass into a bit of a joke because it shattered twice during the strength test in the live demo.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
I'd
awkward.
love to see footage of that.
I mean, how is that the first time they tested it? Was he so arrogant that he tested it for the first time in public? Like,
oh, they must have tested it before.
Well, you would have thought, but then in which case wouldn't they know that it would already withstand this test? I don't know. It was sort of it's really rugged and angular. It's got the stainless steel exoskeleton, which is meant to be bullet resistant. It's supposed to drive really fast. It's supposed to speed up really fast because, like electric cars for ages have had the reputation of not being able to get to the high speeds, taking like ages to get to those high speeds, and then not lasting very long. So you have to, if you have a long journey, and in the States, the journeys are much longer, more regularly, having to stop several times to charge and stuff. And this one also is able to supposedly tow a huge amount of weight as well. Critics have described it as post-apocalyptic. It genuinely does look sort of Mad Max-y and unconventional, polarizing it. People basically placed 250,000 people put deposits down on it.
On the truck?
In the days after the launch at $100 each. Okay. So it's a very small deposit.
Okay.
But still, a lot of people were interested, people, even despite the shattering glass that was shatterproof. And it was initially scheduled to sort of come out in production in late 2021. But this kept on slipping. So then it was early 2022, late 2022, and finally late 2023. So basically, you put a deposit down for this truck, you got it 2 years later than you thought you were going to get it, and about 4 or 5 years after you put the $100 deposit down. So the first pilot ones were produced mid-23, and the deliveries started in November 23. But there was a bunch of recalls because there were complaints. There were 7 separate issues in the first year, including faulty accelerator pedals, wiper motors, trim panels falling off, windshields, and structural adhesive recalls.
Oh my God.
So over 46,000 vehicles had to be recalled, which tells me that they perhaps, potentially, allegedly put them out there too soon.
I have questions, but...
So they had regular misaligned panels, rust spots, software bugs, challenges in sand and snow. The bulletproof glass was damaged regularly by the hail, electrical quirks in car washes, and a whole bunch of others.
Oh my God. So this is all from people that have got them that have then sent them back or
reported issues.
Issues. Okay.
And then also the fact that it's quite rigid, the design and the outer elements, and that the stiffness of the driving it is a risk to pedestrians.
Okay, because you can't avoid them if something happens.
Yeah, it's just harder to maneuver. But also, apparently, there's a lot of UK and EU restrictions that mean that it's not quite it's not allowed on the road yet over here.
Oh my God! So
there was the initial hype. Obviously, then the public interest cooled off, especially because of all of these reported faults. So sales dropped 32.5%. About 50,000 have been delivered, which is much less than the 250,000 annual target that Musk had set. Critics describe it as a meme car, or also, in quotations, commercial failure, or in other quotations, biggest flop in decades. Not my words. Elon, don't say
not my words.
Yeah. And it was just symbolic of the sort of grander issues, the broader issues in Tesla in terms of quality control, production delays, high recall rates, putting things out far sooner than they probably should have. Elon Musk's difficult persona, let's say. So yeah, that's the Cybertruck.
Okay.
If you don't know what it looks like, Google it now because it's
wait
hilarious.
I want to look it up now. Can I look it up now?
Look it up now. I want to see your face. And you do that. This is the end of the first part of the Elon Musk two-parter. So while you look up the Cybertruck, I'm going to bring up our palette cleanser.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me about it.
It's like a space miracle.
Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it?
I have to say, I really like the way that it looks.
I know. I think, but again, I think because it's quite unusual. I don't like the idea of it being a shit car.
Yeah, I love this. I can see why it might be rigid though. It's like long. It looks very much like, it reminds me of Knight Rider a little bit. It looks very futuristic.
Yeah. It's kind
like
of, do you know what it looks
panels.
like? It's exactly like Mad Max in that it looks like what they thought the future would look like in the 70s. You know?
Interesting.
So, Inquisition time?
I am on board with this.
So for those of you who don't know, where the hell have you been? But the Inquisition is where you can go onto our website, go onto our Instagram, link in the bio, and submit your tattoos for a little light roasting. And I'm really excited because you have an event. When's your event with Anthony Johnson?
It's on Friday.
Okay, so it would have definitely passed by the time this episode comes out. But he has some great tattoos. He's a former graphic designer, graphic artist, and he's produced books, graphic novels, and now come into the crime world. He's got a book called Can You Solve This Murder? And he would have done an event with you by the time this comes out. And I convinced him to submit one of his tattoos.
Oh my God. Yeah. I didn't even know this.
I know.
You, Anthony.
Well, I told him to, and then I thought he'll never do it. But he did.
Yes.
And I love him for it. He has an ankh on his arm.
An ankh?
It's the traditional Egyptian cross symbol with the circle at the top of this cross.
Okay, so it's, I know.
So he says, and inside the ankh, it's filled with this picture of like a galaxy scene.
Oh, okay, cool. That sounds fun.
Well, he says, excuse the slight wonky framing. It's not easy getting a one-handed pic of your own arm. He says, my first ever tat.
Oh.
My first ever tats were an ankh and a chaos star, one on each arm, reflecting the fundamentals of existence, life, death, and chaos. Unfortunately, the first ankh was tiny. I was a poor student, and over the years became a blurry blob. So some years ago, I had a newer, bigger one done, like a cover-up, right? People know me as the crime and thriller author, but I'm also a lifelong sci-fi lover and have always been fascinated by the cosmos, stars, and so on. I'm one of the rare few left still watching the sky at night every month. Oh, bless him.
I used to love the sky at night.
I know. So the info image here is adapted from the Hubble Deep Field Image, one of the most mind-blowing space photographs ever taken. Look it up. It revealed just how much was contained in the universe, which we hadn't seen before, and I have no hope of ever truly knowing. I find that amazing, humbling, and inspiring, Anthony. So basically, he told me about this picture, and it was like the Hubble Space Telescope. They focused on just a tiny dot in the sky, thinking, oh, this is a space where there's absolutely nothing.
Right.
And we just want to just test the camera out and blah, blah, blah. So they kept it running for a while because, they just did. And it was only from looking at this that they realized, oh my God, there's like whole entire galaxies in this one little pixel in the sky, basically, that we thought there was nothing in. There was like so much going on.
Okay.
I could totally understand how bonkers that is. And that's what he had in sort of filling up this ankh tattoo.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Bless.
That's such a good story.
So, Anthony, thank you so much.
You're actually someone that's taken time to get a tattoo, like properly thought about your tattoo.
Yeah, I know. Because I was like, oh, so your tattoo means something. Here's mine of Yoshi and Super Mario. Yeah, probably as much thought went into that one. Yeah. So thank you so much, Anthony. And we love you. And thank you for hanging out with us at Harrogate.
It was amazing.
It was. All right. So we're going to go. And then next week, we've got part 2 of the Elon Musk saga.
I'm so intrigued as to where this is going to go, Dee.
It could go anywhere. We know where it's going to go. It's going to go into a weird bromance / breakup with Donald Trump. But how the fuck do we get there? You'll find out next week. Love you. Love you.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. Bye.
Like this episode? Want more? Come visit me, Isla, at Crimley Good Books in the heart of York. We're an independent bookshop dedicated entirely to crime. From cosy mysteries to gritty thrillers, historical whodunits to juicy true crime. We've got signed editions, special gifts, and plenty of recommendations for your next obsession. We also host a bunch of awesome author events.
Can't make it in person? Visit us online at crimleygoodbooks.co.uk.